One of our favorite things at WallBuilders are some of the prayer proclamations we own. Now, we actually own hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. This is just one place that we display a couple of them. These are proclamations for prayer and fasting, but we also have proclamations for prayer and thanksgiving. And two of our favorite we keep out over on the side of our museum. And specifically, there's one down here that when we talk about it, we usually pick it up and show it. So don't think weird that it was kind of on the floor. This is one from John Hancock. And you see, it's a proclamation for a day of Thanksgiving. Down at the bottom, it says it's the 8th of November in the year of our Lord, 1780. So it's 1780, November 1780. And John Hancock says, guys, something just happened. We need to thank God for this. Now, what was it? He explains in the opening paragraph, he says, more especially in the late remarkable interposition of his watchful providence in rescuing the person of our commander-in-chief and the army from imminent danger at the moment when treason was ripened for execution. Now, what he's talking about is the plot with Benedict Arnold, where Benedict Arnold was trying to turn over George Washington and West Point to the British, and God exposed the plot. And John Hancock says, we got to have a day of prayer and thanksgiving. We need to thank God for what God did. So they had a day of thanksgiving. Similarly, George Washington, when he's president, the Congress, that is actually the first Congress, they are tasked with coming up with a Bill of Rights. After they do, one of their ideas was we should have a day of prayer and thanksgiving. We need to thank God for what God has done. Washington agreed. This is a newspaper, but the very first column of this newspaper, it actually has the very first printing of George Washington's prayer proclamation calling on the nation to a day of thanksgiving, thanking God that we now have a Congress that has produced what would become the Bill of Rights. Why this is worth noting is our nation has long been a nation of prayer, but also a nation of prayer and thanksgiving. As we are looking at Thanksgiving festivities in America, this is a significant tradition of America. Anytime we see that God was doing something, that God helped us accomplish something, the natural, normal response was to go and tell God, thank you. Now, certainly this is the biblical attitude as well, that we should be thankful for what God has done, but this is something that's a unique American tradition and something the founding fathers echoed time after time. By 1815, there had been more than 1,400 government-issued prayer proclamations done by Continental Congress, done by governors, and even done by presidents. Our nation has long been a nation of prayer, and specifically a nation of prayer and thanksgiving.